The league leaders beat Stoke in dramatic fashion, with Jack Rodoni netting a 94th minute winner thanks to a major goalkeeping error from Tommy Simpkin. It's now a 5-point lead at the top of the Championship table. Will Coventry be comfortable, do you think, from here on out?
Everything I said has happened. I said if they beat Borough, that will be the thing that turns their season.
I did
and
agree
they
with
will
you
go
there,
on and
though.
run.
Mastermind.
Huh?
It's a mastermind.
Mastermind, mate.
As much as I said that I thought Borough would win the league, I said that's because I thought they'd beat Coventry, and I did agree that if Coventry beat them, that would get them their form back.
Yeah, I think they are going to win the league still. I've said it most of the season ever since they've been up there. And like I said at the time, it was just a blip. We've seen it so many times with the champions of the Championship. They will have a dip in form at some stage in the season. You obviously had it when you went up.
Yeah.
Leeds had it towards the end of the season last year.
Kind of, yeah.
So yeah, I think Cov are going to win the league. I think it's their own game now. There's however many games to go. I don't know.
9?
Don't know. Yeah.
Say 9?
Yeah. I'll be very surprised if they don't even go. Well, they should be up automatically now. But I'll be surprised if they don't win the league.
Concerned. I think they've got that momentum back with them now because they just went through such a poor period of time, and it felt like they just needed that win to just get them back into place, and especially a win against Middlesbrough. I think that's kind of turned their season. So I've said all along that Coventry will win the league, but it was only.
Hold on, you said
it.
Yeah, you
Yes,
said
I have.
Ipswich on TikTok.
You said Ipswich.
You said
I
Ipswich.
said Ipswich, yeah, but pretty much I was only saying that because of the form that Coventry won. But now, I say pretty much most of the season I've been saying Coventry. I put it in the group chat in October.
Okay, most of the season.
Yeah,
Yes,
but same with you. Same with you. You said you changed your mind with that kind of.
I've changed my mind the
Middlesbrough
most, I
stuff.
think. But that's
You were very adamant on Borough at one stage.
It's
Yeah.
just because when I
Which
watched,
you had like sense for.
when I watched them, they looked very good, Borough. And
It's
I
that
thought they were gonna win it,
it's that midfield.
But
That
they've
midfield.
just dropped off recently. That midfield's not been carrying them the same way it was. Whereas Coventry, they work as a unit. They're a good team. I think that's what will see them over the line.
Yeah.
But let's bring Borough into this conversation because on Monday night they got back to winning ways at St Andrews, putting 3 past a Birmingham side that don't tend to lose at home. Former Villa player Matt Targett scored twice, David Strelic with the other. Are Middlesbrough still going to finish second after their 2 draws, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of them. You can't win every game. I just can't see a world where that midfield doesn't get automatic promotion. If they do get automatic promotion, that will be the reason because that midfield is just ridiculous. Morrison, Hackney, yeah, I'd be very surprised.
Well, we've seen them bought it before and not get into playoffs, so why can't they do it again? But yeah, I do agree. I think they'll be. I think Coventry, it'll be Coventry and Middlesbrough. Because I do think Ipswich are a little bit far off to kind of catch at the moment.
Well, you say that. I'll bring them in here as well,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about all 3. The Tractor Boys picked up the 6 points in their last 2 matches. Obviously, Swansea on the weekend 3-0 and Hull 1-0 last night. They're back up to 3rd, and if they win their game in hand, they are above Middlesbrough on goal difference.
They actually do go above.
They would be above
okay.
them on goal difference.
Okay.
Here's my hot take. Ipswich won't get promoted.
Really?
I don't think they'll get promoted at all. It feels very like Sheffield United last season for me.
The only thing I'd say is, I don't know what their running's like, either team, Middlesbrough or Ipswich. But surely, if Ipswich go above Borough, you'd back them to stay there. I know you could call it a blip, but Middlesbrough in the last 4 lost, drawn, win. That's not the form of a team that goes up automatically.
Yeah, but that Birmingham win might just give them that bit of
course
confidence.
it might, of course, because we saw the same thing with Coventry when they beat Middlesbrough. But I'm also just thinking Ipswich look pretty relentless. They've got a very good squad, obviously. We know the money they have.
I don't have like an actual reason for Ipswich not going up. I just have one of them feelings they won't do it. Like I said, it does feel like Sheffield United last year having a very good season, but there are teams that will just beat them to it in terms of the automatic race. And I always feel like when you're that team who misses out on automatics, that affects you in the playoffs massively because your confidence it will be shot if you don't get that automatic spot. And I think that will just happen to them in the playoffs. And I just have a feeling they won't go up.
Rhys, what do you think?
It depends because I think who else are in the playoffs at the moment?
Millwall.
You've got Millwall, Hull,
Hull,
and Wrexham are the other 3.
Yeah, saying it all just depends on the form to the end of the season. Like Do we know their last like 5 games that they've got?
Should we have a look?
Because I think because that's what we always talk about. That running that they have.
Well, Ipswich, they have in their
Still
last
got
5
Millwall.
games, they've got very important games. So they got going from the last game up. They got QPR on the last day, West Brom away the game before that,
Could be massive.
Charlton away as well, Middlesbrough at
Wow,
home,
there we go.
Middlesbrough at home, and Norwich away. Obviously,
Same
the
as-
derby.
They've also
Yeah.
got Southampton,
Birmingham,
and Millwall. In that
Millwall.
run.
That's a
So
really
they've got
tough.
a decently hard run.
Yeah.
But they play Middlesbrough. They play Middlesbrough.
I'm
That'd
saying
be
that, yeah, but
That is a 6-pointer.
If anything, that'd be the decider.
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah,
Surely.
I think that will be. So I think we have to wait until we see them. And I'm saying they're still playing top sides. They're still playing sides toward the bottom that are going to be still battling. West Brom will still be battling there. Norwich are doing well at the moment. Charlton as well. So yeah, they've got a really tough running.
In
Which-
comparison, though, Borough's last 5, they've got Wrexham away on the last day of the season,
that's
Watford at home, Sheffield Wednesday away, that Ipswich game, and Portsmouth.
They've
at
got a
home
better
as well.
run. They've got a better run.
Yeah.
They've got a better run.
Yeah.
They have a better run.
It just depends on where like Portsmouth are at that point in the season, whether they're safe or not. But
It's just like with Ipswich, the thing we've said all season is their inconsistency. They have kind of taken that out of their game the last month or two, but that's been their issue this season, just not being consistent enough.
Yeah.
And I just think, yeah, just some. I know Ipswich fans won't be happy with it, but I just don't think. I just have a feeling they won't go up.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to another team that's looking to go up, because before they lost to Ipswich, the Tigers played Portsmouth and only just managed to edge past them. The goal came from Matt Crooks in the 73rd minute. One of Hull's only 2 shots in the entire game.
Oh wow!
Will Hull be in the playoffs, do you think?
you got to do what you got to do to win, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
a few points is so important. I'm saying like, especially this point in the season, going to Portsmouth away, like it's such a difficult place to go, especially where they're fighting for the relegation. So you kind of take that if you're a Hull fan, I think.
I think Portsmouth had like 20 shots as well. It wasn't like there was no shots in the game. Portsmouth had loads of chances.
I know they've won games recently. Obviously, they beat Derby the other week. It feels like Hull just on where they were, kind of thing.
I don't think they're playing as nicely as they were.
No, they were.
No.
They're not in that. I think they'll get top 6, but it could be a situation where if they don't play better in like this Portsmouth game, for example, where they still won, but 2 shots. If you're playing against a top side or even a side in the top half, you're going to get punished.
Yeah, my worry for them is, can you really expect to get playoffs if you're having 2 shots in the game?
That's,
2 shots.
Yeah.
I would like to think a relegation team wouldn't even have only 2 shots against one of the top teams.
Let's have a look at the gap actually.
But
Paige
what-
on my phone, but
What, Portsmouth's gap or
no Hull's.
Hull are 4th? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
at the
no,
moment
the
now.
gap between them and 7th.
7 points, I believe. I might be wrong there. Don't quote me on that.
It is 7 points.
7 points.
So they've still got a massive gap, but
I think they'll be all right.
when you look, since the turn of the month, they've only won twice, and that was Portsmouth and Derby.
Yeah.
They've either lost or drawn the rest of the game. So I think there is a bit of concern for Hull, but that 7 point gap, I feel like it should see them through.
Yeah, to imagine like, are they going to drop 7 points compared to everyone else?
And everyone's got to gain.
Yeah, and
something.
everyone's got to gain that. I just don't think so. But I do worry if they were actually. So I don't think they'll go out because I don't think they have the quality to do that in the end. But yeah, going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, another team that's hoping for the playoffs is Wrexham, and they picked up another huge 3 points against one of the teams that came up with them, Charlton. Ollie Rathbone scored the only goal of the match in the 30th minute to keep the Red Dragons 6th in the table. How good of a chance do you think they have of winning the playoffs if they stay where they are?
It would just add to that story they're kind of building, wouldn't it?
It would. And I think as well it's the fact that they would be the kind of that bottom team, and they always seem to do well, don't they?
They would be the underdog in some sense, but in a way they're not as well because of the amount of money they've spent. I ain't getting at Wrexham here. They've had a brilliant season, but it does have that. It does kind of have that feel of the story they're doing, and potentially they go one step further and go up.
Yeah, here's my thing with Wrexham though, is they have money behind them and they've got the resources. I just don't think this is a squad yet that is good enough to go up. And I think in some ways it would annoy me if they went up this year, rather than having another year and building an amazing team that wins the league. Because I just don't think this squad necessarily deserves to go up compared to some of the ones above them.
I wouldn't say deserve.
Deserve might be the
They're
wrong
sick.
word,
They're
but
sick
have
for.
the
They're sick
quality.
for a reason.
Yeah, they have quality. I'm not saying they've got a bad squad, but I think there's teams that deserve to go up more.
I think it's more the squad isn't ready for the Premier League.
Yeah, okay,
I
that's a
think-
better way of phrasing my point.
But do you not think when they go into the Premier League, they'll have...
Oh,
they'll
spend
be able to
bucket
attract
loads.
players, so I don't think that will necessarily be a problem.
But I more mean, I'd feel, if I was a Millwall or a Hull and I missed out in the playoffs, I'd feel a bit hard done by because I'd rather see one of their squads in the Premier League rather than a completely new Wrexham squad.
Yeah, you got to think though that Wrexham have spent more than most in that top six. Probably just under Ipswich, I want to say. So they've put their money where their mouth is. Spent it really well, unlike some clubs have been this season. I don't know. Just we'll see what happens. Obviously, they've not cemented a playoff spot yet.
They're only sixth.
There is still a lot of
4
teams
points.
in it.
I think they're 4 points clear, aren't they? I think. Are they
Yeah,
Southampton in
4
7th? Yeah,
points.
so...
Yeah, and Southampton have picked up as well recently,
Yeah.
and it's like it's going to be tight to see what happens.